Hey guys, this is Fan Confessions, the podcast of two fans, two friends, and the K-Wave. Hi, I'm Lisa.
I'm Stephanie.
And welcome to the place where we share our love of all things K-pop and our experience as fans.
You might have guessed from now in the previous episodes, we are not trying to hide that we are no spring chickens. I feel like that's also making us sound older too by saying something like that.
I don't think spring chicken is something that the young folks say.
I understand what that is, yeah. Yeah, no, okay, that wasn't good on Steph. But basically, Lisa and I are in the 30 plus crowd. And and no mystery, obviously, where we always talk about K-pop on this channel. So we actually wanted to do a whole episode dedicated to what it's like being a fan of something like K-pop and being in your 30s and how you kind of deal with it in your daily life and how you might, interact with people and let people know.
Because to tell you the truth, it can be some pretty interesting conversations you have with some folks.
It definitely is, right? And we wanted to, have this channel to make people feel like there's a space for that, even though, I think we've talked about this before, but a lot of people get surprised of your age when it comes to this genre, and they're kind of surprised that you like it, but it's okay to like it, and this should be a safe space to talk about it and feel like you've got some people that are around the same age that like something that you do.
Part of being an older fan of K-pop, you get some interactions with people that, like Steph said earlier, that they're a little surprised. They're like, "And you like K-pop?" And my little confession for the day is I am still slightly closeted in my love. I'm not quite as open and cherry with everybody in my daily life. Well, my family knows I love it. My mom, oh, that's the group. When she sees BTS on TV and stuff like that, she's like, "Oh, that's the group you went to see their concert for, right?" And I'm like, "Yeah, that's them, Ma." Yeah. So the family is very understanding, and they're like, "Oh," because like growing up, Lisa was always into like anime and stuff like that and all that fun stuff. So they're a little more used to that kind of culture. Going to work though, I am still very much not a sherry because I've had some experiences where you mention that you're going to see this group or that you're trying to explain who they are, and they're like, "Oh, those young boys," and like, no, no, they're not young. They're fairly mid-20s. Thank you. I'm not creepy.
Yeah, I know. It's like they think they're all 16. I mean, there are some that are 16, but it's not like they're all 16, exactly. Or that's the point, or anything.
Well, yeah, exactly. So it's not, I'm not as open with it with people in my daily life, meeting new people in dating culture and trying to decide when is the point do I let this guy know what my favorite thing is? Oh, when do I open that can of worms? That's like the little bits that come up in the head.
Yeah, well, I mean, from a woman that is going to marry a Korean man who is not into it at all, really. I mean, bless his heart, he's really trying very hard for me to at least tolerate it. He's not into it at all. I mean, it's kind of been awkward for me in the sense that I liked K-pop before I met him. And I mean, 100%, I did not go out there searching for an Asian boyfriend. Let's get this straight.
We are not Korean
trying
to marry a
K-pop idol. Okay, people. I think that's like immediately when people find out I like K-pop, that was the joke at first. It's like, oh, of course, and then you're with a Korean. No, that's not what happened.
Not intentional whatsoever.
If you could be farther from a K-pop idol, then I don't know what. I mean, he's still very handsome and what have you, but definitely not a singer or a dancer or a model or any of those kind of things. He's just like a regular Joe. He's very Canadianized, so like even his attachment to like Korean culture when we watch things and stuff, like he can sort of speak the language, but it's not like he just fluently speaks Korean or anything like that either. So
Yeah.
he's not even fully attached to his own culture and stuff. So it is a different thing. But I mean, I think though when it comes to the relationship thing, it's totally fine to have your own like interests. And to me, I always think of it myself as it's like it's music, and music can come from anywhere, and there, like no one has any issues of listening to music that's like British or from other European countries or anything like that. So
Or
we have
like,
many
yeah,
different listen.
Latino music, like nobody
Yeah,
judges you when you listen to a Spanish song.
right. Or just genres, right? Like whatever. Like it shouldn't really. It's music, so it shouldn't really matter about like that. And even in the dating spectrum, like so the guy you could be seeing could be super into video games, and you might not like that, or you might not be into that, and it's totally okay that they're very into it. Why couldn't
Yeah,
it be something
exactly.
we're into, right?
Yeah, like esports or traditional sports,
Mm-hmm.
it's perfectly socially acceptable to be totally knee deep in it.
Yeah.
But when you like anything to do with like those typical like the nerdy fan, ugh,
Like
stumbling.
the fandoms, you mean, like the where it's like a very not aggressive but immersive fandom that you're like
Yes.
super strongly into, like whether it's like I know, yeah, some guys too really love Star Trek or Star Wars or like right. Yeah, Lisa's into that too. So like that's what I mean. Like everyone's got their thing that they like. I mean, some people are not so much into fandom, but I feel like that's why it's like you shouldn't judge each other on it because everyone's got their things that they love. And like so coming from me, my boyfriend and I don't have actually a ton in common when it comes to that kind of stuff, but there's core things that we both love, and so we just try and he watches some Korean stuff for me, and Korean shows and music and stuff, and then I try and watch golf when golf's on TV or whatever it is that he loves that I try and appreciate, right? So
Or
it's
you
a
just
little,
leave him be when he's watching
yeah,
basketball.
or whatever, what have you. So I mean, it's just you try and figure out a way that everybody's happy, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So, I mean, this whole episode is pretty much one big confession, but I also have a confession too. So, I mean, this isn't my confession, but unlike Lisa, I'm very out of the closet. A lot of people know. Well, I don't hide. I came to a point, it's like one of those things about being 30 is, and getting close to 30. I mean, I'm over it now, but I stopped caring about what other people might think about things like that. I'm like, you know what? There's no reason I should care if someone thinks anything of it. And what should they think? Like, what? It doesn't matter. And then I was like, I'd rather be myself and share myself more genuinely than worry, like, try and keep it in so much. Cause I don't know. I just found I've had more happiness at work, and like getting to know people has just been easier by
Yeah,
being that. And you know
exactly.
what? People laugh about, like I make a little bit of a joke about it, and it's totally fine. Like we all laugh that because I'm watching Kingdom, so people will ask me, what am I doing this weekend? And so Richard and I, Friday nights is our Kingdom night. So to me, I joke at work, it's my K-pop sports night. So
Exactly.
that's the joke, because a lot of the people on my team really love sports, and they always talk about sports that's way over my head. So I came up with the idea that it's called K-pop sports to say, look, I'm like, I get as excited about this as you guys get excited about your hockey game. So it's kind of
Yeah,
a fun.
exactly.
It's a fun way to talk about it, and that you're into that kind of thing without them, I don't know, thinking weird of it. But it's so much more available now. Like now that they're all in the talk shows and everything, it's like I feel like it's less of a unheard of thing. Like I feel like
Yeah.
5 years or more ago, maybe it was a bit more.
Well, it's like very niche.
Yeah.
But within the last like 2 or 3 years, especially, I think it's become more like upfront in like
Yeah.
mainstream
Mm-hmm.
media and mainstream culture and pop culture. I think it's a lot more present. So
Yeah.
when things are more present in everyday life, people are a lot more accepting of it, right? So
Totally.
I think that's helped a huge amount in being able to be like open with like various interests and stuff like that.
Yeah, and it's like this thin line of like it's hard because it's like you want other people in your life to like it. Like I really wanted you to be into it with me, but it's like you have to say to yourself, it's okay if they aren't into it or they
Yep.
don't want to or whatever. So you just have to kind of I don't know. There's definitely been some people I've recommended some stuff to, and there's been some surprises. There's some people that actually are interested in what it is, or will ask you questions and stuff and whatever. But yeah, I find for the most part it's been a good experience. I have a good experience in my group. I mean, they tease me a little bit, but it's all out of good fun. It's not like anything bad. It's like we'd easily tease them about something else. So
Yeah.
I don't know, but it's all good to find the few people that you find that come across stuff that like that. It's super fun. So it's like I don't know. I feel like you if you were honest about it, it's good. So that was a really long sidebar, but back to my what my confession is. It's not really super related to that, but being a older K-pop fan, I think like the joke is that we come across a lot is like younger fans will like say like, oh man, like I can't afford to do this, and I can't like the fact that you don't have the income to appreciate or do all the things that are related to K-pop, which is like concerts and stuff. So it's like thank goodness we can afford to go do these things, and that's awesome.
Exactly.
But I will be the first to admit I am a woman with all my income available to me, and I have not bought a K-pop album at all. And for all the years I've been interested in K-pop, I do not own a single album to my name.
Oh my goodness, Stephanie.
It's slightly changed in this moment, but like part of me is kind of, I am a very, I guess I'm careful with my money, and I like to save, and I have certain things, and so I have level of importance of things. And I mean, obviously, I love K-pop and I want to support. So it's like I go to concerts. I feel like concerts are a really good way to support them.
Oh
And I'm
yeah, and plus
sure,
there's the experience along with it,
right,
right?
yeah, and then I mean, on top of that, for us, the cost of going to a concert. So I don't know if you guys know, we live smack dab in the middle of Canada. So Canada, not a very like I would say, it's not the biggest province or most popular province to travel to do concerts in. At least
Yes.
not for international acts.
Yes,
So
we bring in some big names from time to time for big stadium tours,
yeah,
but we are not like highly populous
no,
in our general area compared to say Toronto in the east or Vancouver in the west.
yeah,
When people think concert dates in Canada, it's Vancouver, Toronto are the main ones
yeah,
for international
Montreal
performers.
maybe.
Montreal, maybe. Um, Calgary
Calgary.
is becoming a bigger one right now. But that's those four are
It's
basically the top. And like Canada's a very large country,
yeah,
as you all may have known, but we are not dense in the population. So in terms of per capita and marketability and money making, they people tend to go to the big cities.
yeah.
And that's where we must go if we want to partake of the concerts as well.
Yeah. So imagine you're spending, I mean, this is all talking Canadian dollars, but you're spending over 100, maybe $150 just to not even like Lisa and I didn't even bother doing
Yeah.
floor seats. Like we've sat, oh, well, BTS, we were literally the last people in the whole place. The wall was behind us. I remember telling this story. I'm like, I can't believe I literally got us the last tickets in the stadium. It felt like, or not the stadium, it was a concert hall, but oh man. So, like, and
Yeah.
that still costs like hundreds of dollars. And then on top of that, we have to pay for flights, we have to pay to stay, and then you don't
Hotel.
want to just go for like a day. So then there's things you want to do, you want to go shopping. So it's like, these are a good chunk of change to go
Yep.
see an act.
So
Yeah.
we better be independent ladies with our own means because mommy is not paying for this.
Yeah, like I don't know. It must suck actually to be a really young Canadian fan
It
because,
is. It must be.
or well, I mean, although we did have, so if I remember correctly, when you went on the flight, we were on different flights. You had a bunch of BTS fans on your flight. And
I did.
there
They
was
were even breaking out in
parents, right?
song.
No,
Yeah, they were parents were coming along. It was
yeah.
people were excited.
I would so be a parent like that. I would love to do that for my kid. I mean, not that the kids probably hate it. I just think, I feel like, although that reminds me of when we went to Eric Nam in Minneapolis. So this is our other option. So we can go cross border, and we can go to a city kind of close by, which is pretty much Chicago or Minneapolis. And luckily, Eric Nam went to Minneapolis, which isn't too bad for us to get to by car. So that was a fun little road trip we did. And we had a dad and his daughter behind us. And the dad was so supportive. It was the cutest thing I'd ever experienced, because he was just like, yeah, it sounds like they've been traveling all around, going to see different shows and different things. And he was totally into it for the daughter. And the daughter was just like not saying it. Like she must have been like 16, maybe 14.
He's like, Dad, stop talking to everybody.
But the whole time he's like, you know what, this Eric Nam guy's pretty good. Like, he's like, I'm actually really, like, he was like, I'm really impressed. He's better than, I can't remember who else they saw, but he's like, he's the best one we've seen so far. And he was just really like, I don't know, I just like tears.
That is so sweet.
It was really sweet. And I don't know, that I kind of love that about the concerts. I feel like all the ones we came to, it's definitely a range of people. I don't know about you, I don't feel like we're the oldest ones there.
Definitely not, because even if it's just parents, they're still there, and like some of the parents are like bigger fans than the younger kids, right?
Yeah.
So it's all different ethnicities and backgrounds that are going to concerts from what I see, and it's really fun to see like the different spectrum of people that are fans.
Yeah. I feel like maybe we'd have a different experience if we did floor, but I think we've talked about not doing floor just because I think now we're too old to want to deal with sweaty bodies being crushed into all the, I don't know.
Everybody's clamoring with their signs to get as close to the stage so the idols will see the signs.
I'd probably be more afraid in a crowd for K-pop than I would for some other crowds now that I think about it music-wise.
Yeah, you know what?
And
Mosh Pit's got nothing on
girls wanting to touch Demon or Jungkook or something. Like, I feel like, I don't know, I feel like it could get scary. That's all I could imagine. And I just don't need to have enough of that. I don't know.
We are totally cool with sitting comfortably in our
like,
arena
I'll stand.
seats.
I like standing and interacting with the concert, but I don't know. I feel like, though, our next one, we should try and get closer.
Yeah, I think so. We'll have to be like ready for when that go light goes.
The stress of buying tickets. Can I talk about the stress in the buying the tickets? I do not remember this as a kid being that stressful to get a ticket. It is so hard.
I remember. Okay, so a little behind the scenes. When both me and Steph have gone to GOT7, we've gone to BTS, and we've gone to see Eric Nam, as she's mentioned. But Eric Nam was a fairly chill buying experience. Thank you.
And perfect is so small. It was such a good experience. Perfect.
It was a wonderful event, and like such a great show.
Come back.
Yes, please come back, Eric. When you are able to travel, when you are able to travel across the US and can finish off the tour that was cut off short, we will be there 100%. So both experiences for like the bigger shows for GOT7 and BTS were extremely stressful for Steph. I don't think I have ever seen her that stressed as her friend, because we're both like ready to go. And she's like, oh my God, it's not refreshing. There's something wrong with my computer. And then she would get her fiance to get on his and try his.
Richard is such a champ.
He is so calm and like, yes, dear. I'll do
I don't
that
know
for
what
you.
I freak out so much about is the fact that I'm not going to get a ticket at all. Like, these concerts, for how fast they go, I have never felt like just take my money so bad. Like,
I don't care what seat it is, just take my money. I'm not picky.
Yeah, no, you know what? That is very accurate. I don't think I ever feel as stressed in those moments. I think, well, the BTS one was the worst stress I've ever felt because
like I got the time wrong. I got the time wrong. Oh my God, I felt
and it was
so
like
bad.
crickets, and I didn't hear from her, and I was like, oh my God. I'm like, okay, she has to be looking at tickets right now. I'm like, Lisa, what was
And I'm like,
like,
wait, but it's not for another hour.
I freaked out so bad. So
Oh
yeah,
my
that's
God.
when Rich was on. So Rich was on something, I was, and so Snap Judgment, I had to get it from another seller because that's the worst thing about it that pisses me off. So it's not so much the fact that the tickets are gone because
Scalping.
people are there, it's all the scalping and these resellers. So the
Yeah.
resellers swoop up everything. So you're
I
paying.
felt so bad for Got7 because the place pretty much sold out, but there was such big chunks of empty seats because they were all bought by
And then
like the
probably
scalpers.
upcharged by ridiculous amounts.
Huge amounts.
So that's how we got the back of the thing. And so I bought these tickets from this reseller, and Lisa, I can't tell you the anxiety I have felt about this concert.
Will we have tickets? Will the tickets be good? Will we be like
nightmares that we were gonna go through the thing and then they were gonna be like, nope, these tickets aren't valid, and we would have to be standing outside while they were inside. I was gonna cry. I was gonna cry. And like, so I had nightmares about this. But why I had nightmares is I will divulge a super duper duper confession extra here.
oh.
So I love Backstreet Boys. And did I ever tell you this story, Lisa?
Yeah.
Okay. I can't remember if who I confessed this to because it's a secret, but I will tell everybody this mishap. So Backstreet Boys, one of my favorite groups growing up, hence why I love Kpop so much. And so they're in Vegas doing a residency. And my fiance and I really love Vegas. And so he said, your birthday, let's go. We'll go do our trip and we'll go see them. Awesome. We bought tickets, super excited. Like I'd like to think we're fairly organized people. We had everything already go. We planned our whole trip and we were doing stuff and we're there. We go the day of the concert. We go and the lady scans the tickets and she's like, this concert was yesterday. And if I had never, my heart was gonna stop. We like turned around and I was like, and Richard was like, your face. He's like, if you saw your face, you were gonna cry your eyes out and you were just gonna pass out. And he was like, I couldn't handle it. And I was like, what are we gonna do? I'm like, I can't believe. So what happened was, for some reason, we both had in our head the concert was that day, and we actually, I can't remember, we had to get the tickets printed somewhere, and we got them printed, and neither of us looked at them. And we just in our heads was like, it's that other day, and it was the wrong day. And we got there, and then it was like, whatever. And so bless my fiance, and probably why he's my fiance, he went up to the counter and bought a whole new set of tickets for that night. And we had better seats than the first set. And Nick and Brian and all them walked behind me on the concert. And Brian was like literally within like, I want to say 5 meters from me. He was 5 meters from me. So it was the best experience ever. But well, so when we had these tickets, and I tell you the feeling, I knew what that was gonna feel like if that ticket didn't work. So even worse probably.
Oh God, yeah.
So it's like, this better. Like, and it was all those months of waiting to see if these tickets were gonna work. Because it was paranoid. Because I read a lot of people complain their tickets didn't work or things happened. So I will say I can't. I should remember what the reseller is and say they're legit, but they were legit. Because it worked out and we were fine. But
it was like total sigh of relief when we got through those doors.
Although I was still zero chill because I remember we got in the doors because we were also late. So why we always end up feeling late going to the concert, we were almost late. And so they were doing the pre-show stuff, right? Where they're just playing music videos. But like, I heard that the second we got in, and Lisa's like, I gotta go to the washroom. I'm like, okay, bye. And I just bolted. I'm like, I'll go get the seats.
I'm like, okay, I'll see you later, I guess.
Just totally ditched it. I was like, no, I'm gonna go find our seats. So
it's okay because I got into the bathroom line and I got like halfway through the bathroom line and I'm like, screw this, I'll hold it. And I went back to find you.
This is adults going to a concert, people. It's still not chill.
Yeah, exactly. This is grown up, so zero chill. Exactly.
I think this is a couple of years ago, but yeah, no, I had zero chill. I was like, I am not missing a second of this. I was like, I'm sorry, you were my friend, but I am ditching you in this moment.
I am a grown up, and I can find my way without getting lost. So,
and I guess I should admit that we weren't the last row either. So I almost had a fight with somebody at the concert because there was someone in our seats. There was someone in our seats, I swear to God, and then they were arguing with me that they're not yet. I had my whatever printed in front of me. So I don't know what happened, but I assume they moved up because we weren't there right away. And because the seats behind them were all free. So we just moved back there. So we made it work anyway, but I literally
and we had a good time.
People like, what's going? I'm confused.
Yeah, because I remember after I gave up on the bathroom line, and I was walking up the stairs, and there's Stephanie arguing with the people in our seats, and I'm like, oh my God, what did I miss?
Well, it was not even just like asking the girl around us. I'm like, am I crazy? Like, I am in the right row
section, right?
And she's like, yeah, you are, and I'm like, well, whatever. I mean, if there wasn't seats behind them, I would have gone and found a usher or something. But
yeah, got their butts out of there. But, and it's so funny because like where our seats were supposed to be, were only like maybe 5 rows up from it wasn't the very back.
The row in front of us.
Yeah, exactly. It wasn't even that far away.
The only reason I remember it was right in front of us because it was a guy and I think his sister or girlfriend, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But she was into it and he was not into it. So he was the one that was arguing with me. And then, so I walk away, but why it irritated me after is because the girl had a sign at the end and was holding up the sign and I'm like, I can't see.
I know, they were blocking us, yes. Jerks.
So that's why I was mad. But anyway, we were proper adults and did not make a scene, but that was my most, I guess, crazy experience. Like GOT7, I don't think we didn't have any drama. We had good people around us. Yeah, we got there on time.
There was a very excessively long entry line for GOT7 because it felt like it took for the staff forever to open those doors. But other than that, it was very chill and calm experience.
Yeah. I don't know. You know what I think about it? I think I liked GOT7 more than BTS. I love BTS, but GOT7 I think checked all my boxes. I saw everything I wanted to see. Except for Just Right. I would have loved to see that. But I know JB hates it, so it's okay.
Yeah, he's not performing that.
One day. Maybe
one day.
Yeah. But
yeah, because I remember BTS, we were very disappointed because they didn't perform Blood, Sweat, and Tears.
I would have made my night. And then I was also kind of sad because I looked up the set list and I loved Best of Me from that album because we went to go see the trilogy, like the whole tour for Love Yourself. Mm-hmm. So I really wanted to see Best of Me, and we didn't get that round of the set list. So I was like, darn it.
God damn it. We were like third night.
I know. It was still so good though. I mean, I loved it. I would go see them again.
100%. I would, as soon as they're anywhere close, I'm going.
I know, we're all prepared to go to the next one, and then I think, I don't know, my fiance started to come around. He came to Eric Nam with us.
And he enjoyed it. He became a fan.
He became a fan. He listens to Eric Nam for real, people. He actually really likes it. So, I don't know. He is actually a little bit of a fan of BTS too. He enjoys them. So maybe he'll come to a BTS concert in the future.
He totally should. And not just drive us there.
Yeah. So he's usually our chauffeur. His family's from Ontario, so we kind of look out when we go there. We have a place to stay and we can do some stuff, and then the concert's just kind of a added fun part on there. And I mean, and so his family too, he has his brother and their partner, like they're into it also. So my dream one day is we all just go to a concert together.
Or, I know that'd be so much fun.
Something else I've been trying to figure out. I mean, now COVID's kind of messed it up, but there is a Kpop club night in Toronto, or there was, and I always talked about it. It'd be so much fun to go, and now they do it online, which I'll plug it in the description.
Yeah.
The DJ Yuka, I think her name is. She's super cute and awesome, and she DJs it on Twitch now. And we've done it as a couple of group friend things to just go watch her sometimes, and it's fun. But she does it like she was doing it live in Toronto, which I think would be super fun. Like
Definitely.
I would
We're old and getting past club time, but that would be a good time.
Right? That would be like I would deal with going into a club to do that.
Yes.
It's different. But yeah, so that's like something fun. I was trying to think of something else I was gonna say about it, but yeah, I don't know. Being 30 and a fan, there's definitely certain things about it that you like.
There are perks because we can pay for things.
Right. Well, we could be at Eric Nam and enjoy a drink.
I know.
Like, so they had an open bar that you could go to, or what? Or not an open. I shouldn't say it's an open bar. They had a bar.
Not
open. It was not free drinks that you could go have, and I mean, obviously, there's going to be some minors there and stuff, but like that kind of stuff's kind of cool.
Yeah, it's very cool.
So we talk about a lot that, like, you know, it's hard to find people that are your age that like K-pop, and I mean, I'm very fortunate to find Lisa in real life. But that doesn't mean you can't find friends online. So
exactly.
We've made a lot of friends online actually over the past couple of years. And so like you see Cait in the comments, our biggest fan. She's we've known her for a little while. We met her through blogging and she's super awesome at that. And I will plug her Instagram here and give her a little bit of extra love.
Cait Soul.
Yeah.
And we have our friend Alex as well. And we sort of like made a little like core group that we like to call the Chingus.
Yeah, there's the four of us. So we're all in that 30-ish range. And yeah, so now we have like our kind of, I don't know, our group that we like to just chat about things. Like it first came up because I really just wanted selfishly to always talk about releases. And maybe not just plug Lisa about it because I felt bad. But then I was like, well, it's nice to get to know people. Like Cait and I hit it off really easy too online, which was nice. And Alex and I had been talking for quite a long time. So it was kind of nice to just connect everybody. And then, you know, we have somewhere to chat and do kind of little mini projects. We did a couple like video projects and ratings and stuff. And I mean, the goal was always to do this, but maybe one day there'll be more bigger things that we can do together.
Exactly.
And we want to meet each other one day too. So we've always been talking about the idea of going to KCON eventually. I mean, it was supposed to be this year or last year.
Yeah, this last year or this year was supposed to be the year, but then pandemic hit and totally like kicked that plan in the butt.
So yeah, so even as like an adult, like I feel like in my head, I remember thinking about it, I'm like, I don't know if I would ever go to KCON. But then like now I've met people and or I want to meet people and like I have a reason to go there that's not just to, I don't know. I mean, the concerts are really the reason why we would go 100%. Like it's the best thing for your buck to see that many shows in a row. Would be
but
so great.
We may not be the group that's going for like the high touches or the fan signs and stuff like that. I don't think we'd be the kind of people that would do that just because it would be like, hi, and they'd be like, why are you here?
I don't think it's that bad, but
I would feel there. Here's my closeted K-pop fan popping up. I would feel slightly awkward in that situation, but I sometimes think about like in a few years, like once hopefully, please God, everybody's vaccinated and we can travel again and we're able to go to KCON. Even if I am like got a baby in a carrier, he or she will be coming with me and partaking of the music and the joy. And the friends are going to be like together and we're going to meet in person and it'll be fabulous.
Yes. It'll be, I'm actually fully coming around to the fact that, it could be a K-pop mom. By the time this happens, because who knows? It's like,
the what is it? What do they call it when the baby, when they're playing, when you play music for the baby while they're still in?
Oh, I don't know what you call it, but I know what you mean. Like it can help
like
influence.
Fetal education or something
Yeah.
like that.
They'll
Some
have
people are very, very careful about choosing classical and something that'll be like stimulate the mind. It's totally going to be BTS for me.
yeah, or whatever. I don't know. Yeah, it's. I feel bad for Richard. It might drive them crazy, probably. But yeah, anyway, but yeah, I think it'll be fun to get to meet everybody finally, and yeah, and then we get to travel the states and go somewhere beautiful like LA. I've never been. New York, I've never been. So,
Yeah.
pretty cool. So, looking forward to being able to do that one day.
So recently, some very exciting news came out about McDonald's and BTS having a bit of collaboration.
Yeah.
And it just seems perfect that their favorite meal is also my favorite McDonald's order. So you knew it's destiny. But I decided I was going to throw something out there into the universe and take a survey of our same age friends and be like, so how many of you are going to roll up into that McDonald's drive-thru pretending to be the mom of teenagers to get yourself some McDonald's nuggets?
I have no shame, okay? I will go. Well, Richard will drive through because he's the one that ordered. And I asked him already. He has no shame. But I told Lisa there is no shame in it because, I mean, a grown woman can get a chicken nugget meal. What is the difference? And it comes with sauces. You want it for the special sauce. It doesn't matter. Or you want it for the merchandise. It's okay.
It's perfectly okay. They don't have to know. And like, really, they're not going to ask, but I'm going to have this story in my head that that's what they think.
Yeah, I can understand that. Because I feel like our generation has grown up feeling like, I guess, self-conscious about things that are totally not necessary to feel self-conscious about.
I know.
I don't know about you. It took me a long time to feel comfortable to order whatever I want from a fast food place and not be concerned about what the person like I'm asking the order to like thinks about
Yeah,
it.
exactly.
But then it's like you gotta say in your head, this person serves how many people in a day? Do they really care that you have ordered?
I remember being that teenager behind the counter at A&W. I gave two shits.
Yeah, like I think it's like it's just we put it in our head. So like, do they care if you want the merchandise and you're an adult? No. I don't think they're
They might raise their eyebrow a bit when I specifically ask for whatever Jimin merchandise they have.
Well, like so that was the thing we were talking about if it was photo cards. And the funniest thing I can imagine in my head is you trying to describe who you want if they had them and say
Which
they
one
had
is
to
that
train
one?
them. Yeah, they're like, okay, guys, here's your photo cards. This is Jimin. This is Jin.
Well, they're totally gonna have to have a labeled pile. This is the Jimin pile.
Because if you said that, they would be like, who? And then you'd be like, he's the cute one with this kind of hair. And they'd be like, I don't know.
They're all kind of cute, though.
Yeah, like that's what I mean. It's
the
like
smart employees will think
it's
that.
like, how do you describe to somebody? And so I thought that would be a pretty funny. That's where my shame would come in, and I would just take whatever they get, but then I would go to another McDonald's or I would do something to try and do it without having to ask specifically.
I know. I figured we could like me and Steph are brainstorming everyone. Yeah. We were going to strategically map out McDonald's locations and like do the rounds.
Yeah, try to like how many McDonald's do you have to hit in order to collect
get a full set? It's like total Pokemon, gotta catch them all.
Yeah, and then I said to Rich, I'm like, "Hey, can you be on standby to eat all the chicken nuggets?"
I don't think we can eat that many.
Yeah, I think it would be killing somebody if we did.
Yeah, but. Exactly. And yeah. Richard, bless his soul, he was just like, "I'm there for you, sweetie."
Yeah, he'll take one for the team. I don't know. He did laugh or make a comment though that he seemed to think that his least favorite member is Suga, and then he just said he's like, watch, they're gonna just have a whole pile of him and no one else, and I'm like, that is mean. That is mean. But I'm like, no one else would know what that means though. So exactly. I'm like, I don't think that ever would happen, anything like that. But he's silly. So I don't know, but we'll see what happens. I mean, I don't think it's confirmed. I don't think it's going to be photo cards. That's what I'm at least getting vibes about. Everybody's speculating, but I think some kind of merchandise. So we'll see.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, I'll try it at least once.
That's
It's
our
during
that's
my
our
wedding.
version of the Happy Meal.
Yeah. It's during my wedding week, and I told Richard we're having a McDonald's date. So that's what it is. So I think it's the 26th in Canada in May, and I think the same in the States, and then a bunch of other countries. So
Yeah.
pretty cool. So adults still can enjoy this and have no shame. Hey, we can buy as many McDonald's meals as we want, and it's still not too expensive.
Exactly. I love me some chicken nuggets. I can do that once a day.
Right? You could do that once a day until you got what you wanted. It's fine.
Exactly.
So, yeah, it's kind of a funny thing. So we still get excited about silly stuff like that. And you know what? I never used to think I would, but I'm like, yeah, you know what? I would totally. I'd
Yes.
support that. I'm glad to see them pop up in more places and doing more of these kind of collaborations, and I'm more than happy to support that happening. So we could talk about probably the most debated and controversial question about being in a fandom where, you know, K-pop, we like to appreciate beautiful people. That's a big part about it. And as you get older, the tricky part is the new groups are younger, and
they keep getting younger.
Yeah. And you have to be careful because I don't know. It's like not that you like a group because you're lusting after them for any reason or that's all it's about, but I don't know. It's like you feel this level of I need to investigate before
Yeah.
I don't know.
Are they at an age
Feels
of
appropriate.
where it's appropriate for me to find them attractive or this attractive? Because if they're not, they are going into the baby category.
Right, and it's all good to support. Like I remember, like NCT Dream, and you're like, yeah, like that's awesome.
Oh, they're so cute.
Right, like you just appreciate the talent, and I mean, you're always appreciating the talent. But K-pop likes to do that thing where they like flip it, and then you're like, this is too soon.
I am not prepared for this level of sexuality. Thank you.
Right. Well, I think it's a challenge too. It's the same thing American pop, right? Like how they sexualize the younger women. And so it's funny. So it's like in K-pop, I feel like it's a lot on the guy side and the girl side.
It's really
Where it's
both.
like I feel like on the guy side and the American side, I don't feel like it's as much. Like even I think recently I was just thinking about this with what's his name? Shawn Mendes. Like I don't know if you heard his last thing, but I'm like, man, like he is sounding grown now in terms of like his lyrics and stuff. I'm like,
he is way grown, girl. Right? Where have you been?
And so I did an age check on him because I was like, I remember him being a little like young one. I was like, okay.
He was like 15 or 16 when he had his first like big hit on the radio, right?
Yeah. And so he's still very, very young, people. Obviously, he's still young. But I was like, okay, but I had to have a moment here, and I'm like, okay, right. But it seems to happen later. Like I feel like there's definitely been a couple groups I think we've talked about.
Yeah.
I can't remember what group it was, but there was somebody that we were like, this seems too soon for them.
I think it was one of the newer groups, and they were doing a very like gothic kind of like sexy concept, and we're like, I don't know if I'm ready. Like the majority, only 2 members are above, are over 20, are adults, and the rest of them are like
of age.
Yeah, exactly. In Korean age, 20 is like an adult. So like in Korean age, the rest of the members were like 16, 17, and 18. And you're just like, I don't know if this is good. They should at least be adults before they're doing this kind of thing.
Yeah. So anyone that's on my boyfriend list, they have to be usually above, I think 25 at least. I don't know.
Yes, exactly.
I mean, this is not a very realistic list. People, like I say it all in joking. I don't think I would ever. I don't know. I don't have it.
It's not possible.
Or less or anything like that. So, yeah. But I know that's definitely a contentious thing, and that people think, you know, like the term noona all the time, and like joking that it's kind of gross and stuff. But you know what?
Yeah.
You're there for the music. It is not just all about that. And you know what? I have no problem appreciating a handsome young man. Like whatever.
Like I've mentioned before that I'm a big Stray Kids fan.
Mm-hmm.
Biologically speaking, I could be their mother.
Right.
So like while I appreciate them and I love them, they are very much my children, and they are not at a level of which I'm just like, you're hot. I know they're beautiful and I know they're
I was gonna
talented
say
and I
you actually
appreciate them
must
for
be
that, but I don't
struggling
think
with this right
I
now.
yeah, I will never think of Stray Kids as hot.
That is probably a challenge because I feel like they just hit the peak of like their maturity level where they've flipped into more of that concept where it's coming out more manly now.
Yes.
So,
They're
but then we gotta say, blessed to when older groups come out of nowhere, like UNVS, uh,
oh yeah.
right? Okay, so Cait was
Highlight
there.
highlight just highlight is having a comeback.
Yeah, so there's groups that are out there that are like still age appropriate and awesome, and I'm glad there's more groups that are staying out that are like older that for
Yeah, because
longer.
I remember like a decade ago, just from like seeing the history of K-pop a bit, like once, especially for male groups, once they hit military age where they had to be enlisted, basically after that your career was over as an
Pretty
idol.
much, yeah. They
And maybe, yeah, maybe you went into acting afterwards, but you didn't do a lot of music afterwards. Now it's like you see groups like Super Junior and like Shinhwa, and now like groups like Shiny that are like almost done their military service as a group. And like it's very, very possible to continue music after your military service. So you get some very like dudes that just came out of the army and they're
like,
like,
yeah, I'm all good. I am on board with all of that.
yes,
So, and a lot
yes,
of them age very nicely. So there is a
2
lot to
p.m.
appreciate. Yeah, there's a lot to appreciate in the upper ages. People, we were in a good section. Like there's some good people in the early 30s, late 20s. Like
Yeah,
it's prime still, so we're okay. I mean, I'll still like, yeah, I'll still cheer on the younger groups and stuff. And I find it's funny too. So it's like, I will say, and it kind of ties back to when we were talking about cute concepts and getting into stuff. It's like, I find too, I don't end up appreciating them much until they get to that level of maturity as well. Because even like 17, they were kind of like young and like really young concepts, right? And then
mm-hmm.
when they started hitting the more mature stuff, that's when I actually started to really like them a lot. So I'd say like, you still notice them and you want to support them and everything, but I don't know. I love just seeing them grow up and then you appreciate them in their new phase of their journey as they age
Exactly.
up and stuff. But yeah,
Yeah, because
so
we're all, it's great to see people be able to grow and expand and evolve as
yeah.
artists. So, and like you learn to appreciate them at all levels
Mm-hmm.
in different ways.
Totally. And I want to go back just to say I do want to like say that people should check out UNVS because why I want to like pitch saying watch them and pay attention to them and follow them is because they did come out and they were already older. So they debuted as an older group, which you don't see that happen very often. It's like
No, not at
they're
all.
usually a lot younger, right? So to me, I'm like, I want to support that. I want people to feel like they can do that later in life, and that's totally cool because they're great. Like,
Yeah, like, because how convenient is it to be able, like, because, like, generally, like, in Korea, like, most men, especially, go into the military service maybe after 1 year of university.
mm-hmm.
So if you encourage that sort of trend of like debuting at an older age, then you don't have to worry about having interruption in your career
Yeah,
because like you've already taken care of that obligation.
totally.
So you're free to do whatever you want afterwards.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, who knows? Like these people, like I don't know enough about the group, which so correct me if I'm wrong. Like they could have come from other groups or been doing different activities, and the reason why they like debuted later could be other reasons. But like that's the nice part of like all these second chances and abilities for people to go and do things is like, because man, like there's singers in that group, like they're super talented. So wanted to give them some love and say there is a group that maybe not a lot of people know of that you should definitely support and is in our age group. If you're ever curious about some more idols that are in our age group, then those are some.
Yeah. I used to joke that the only idols that I could call Oppa was like Shinhwa and like Heechul from Super Junior.
Yeah, there's a fair line. Now that I think about it, I actually, oh, that's a game. I will have to think about it. There's a lot of
Who
people
is
that,
older than me?
yeah, there's a lot that are, I found quite a few that are my age, like we're the same age. So I'm like, oh, okay, that's kind of neat. But yeah, now you say that, oh, it's a thing on that.
Yeah, it'd be a fun game to
Nothing wrong
play.
with being the older woman. That's okay.
I know, exactly. Age is a number. It's all about how you feel.
So on that fun little note and tidbit at the end there, I think that was the funnest part of the episode. We don't have anything else to chat about today. We thought we covered it all off there. So don't forget to like and subscribe and tune in next week. And yeah, stay safe.
Bye.